Classic Cinema and TV fans, this is Jason Lockard here with you once again, bringing you another Flashback Friday. Yeah, today we're taking a look at a new release, a complete series release, and it's kind of interesting. We're taking a look at Pennyworth. All right. So join us, stay tuned, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We would appreciate it. Let's jump into this. All right. So today we're talking about Pennyworth, and Pennyworth is Alfred Pennyworth. He is known for being Batman or Bruce Wayne's butler, and kind of interesting. But Alfred was always more than just that. Whenever you would watch the series of Batman, from whether you would read the comics or whether you would watch the TV series or the movies or whatever, he always seemed to have something more to him than just being a butler. And we always wondered what it was. I remember when, beyond reading comics, the very first time I was really introduced to Batman in film or TV was with the animated series. And the Batman animated series is still probably one of my favorite incarnations of Batman. It's timeless. It literally is timeless. The series never seems to grow old. I think it's because the stories were made so well. When you watch the animated series and you watch those shows and you go through those stories, my goodness, are they amazing. In that time, so much of the cartoons and the animated series were goofy, off the wall, crazy, all that, and nothing wrong with that per se, but the animated series of Batman didn't talk down to kids. They actually elevated kids with the stories and gave them more adult stories, and with death, with tragedy, with all kinds of stuff. I mean, who doesn't remember the story of Victor Freeze and how he lost his wife and how he lost everything? Amazing. The story of Clayface, an actor who just wants to continue, so he uses the cream and it destroys him and makes him into this monster. The epic story of Two-Face. Wow. Now, let me tell you something. That is a pretty amazing story. They didn't talk down to kids, and that's where I really was introduced to Batman, was in the animated series, and wow, it was so good. That's why I still watch this series even to this day. There are times that I'll pick out an episode and watch an episode, and it's still great even after all these years. It's still amazing. After watching the animated series, I came across the 60s TV series on reruns. And one of our local channels was playing these during the day in the afternoons, and I happened to see it, and I was like, what in the world am I watching? I mean, it really was. I mean, I was like watching these things, and I was going, what am I watching here? It was like off the wall crazy, but it was so much fun. And to see one of my favorites, which was, of course, one of my favorite horror actors, Vincent Price, to be in this series as a villain named Egghead. I mean, it was like, come on, how could you not love this series, right? So I got the amazing stories of the animated series, and then the more campy, fun, off the wall series with Batman, the original series from '66. Then we got to the interesting series of Batman movie series. Started off with Tim Burton, Batman and Batman Returns, and then we got the less than spectacular, but still okay, kind of fun to watch, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Okay, so again, we won't talk too much about that because those are not so spectacular, but the first two are amazing. Of course, this is the anthology series. Should just make that clear. That's the anthology series. Pretty cool Blu-ray set there. But anyway, yeah, so we got to watch those, and more love of Batman came forth. And then we saw the Dark Knight trilogy. I love this box set. Oh, love that box set. That is just, it's one of my favorites. That's why this is half the reason why I haven't upgraded to Blu-ray yet. Because I mean, I don't need all these box sets in my collection. But anyway, maybe someday. But I love that lenticular cover. Oh my goodness, it is so cool. I love it. But anyway, the Dark Knight trilogy was pretty amazing. And who didn't love Heath Ledger as the Joker? I mean, my goodness, his take was amazing. So anyway, yeah, so I've watched all kinds of, pretty much I've watched every version of Batman. I even watched the new The Batman movie. That one it's here in the collection, but I'm not overly happy with that one. I don't know exactly what it is. It just didn't, I don't know, it didn't speak to me as a movie for some reason. I don't know why. Now, I know there are a lot of people that love it, and if you do, great. I mean, it's great. I mean, I have no problem with that. I know there's a lot of people that can't stand Dark Knight, and I can't imagine that, but there are some people that think it's not the best in the world. You know, that's what makes the world go round. We all have our opinions, right? But, yeah, I didn't care for the Batman movie that much. But anyway, in all of these incarnations of Batman, there was always one constant, and it was, other than Batman, was Alfred Pennyworth. So, Max, Warner Brothers, Max, HBO Max turned to Max. You know, they kept changing the streaming service title until they got to Max. Okay. Hopefully that'll be it. I don't know. They just keep moving. You know, I don't know. But anyway, they came up with the idea of doing a series called Pennyworth about Alfred Pennyworth as a young adult and what he was. Now, it's interesting because it says soldier, servant, spy. Okay, so then with that simple tagline, we get an idea why he was so good at what he did. Soldier, spy, servant, yeah, okay. So he has all of that, and that's why he could do what he did, right? Interesting. The little synopsis says, this DC origin story explores Bruce Wayne's legendary butler, Alfred Pennyworth. Years before he meets the Caped Crusader, in 1960s London, the highly skilled former British SAS soldier finds the trajectory of his life forever changed when he goes to work for the young billionaire Thomas Wayne. Haha. Okay. So, this is the beginnings of how we get to know Alfred Pennyworth. Very interesting. All right, so it's collected in 7 discs. The first season is on 3 discs. The second season, 2 discs. The third season is 2 discs. Okay, so we get 7 discs and the entire series. There's also reintroducing Pennyworth and case files found on this collection here. Now, I haven't watched this. Now, see, I don't subscribe to Max. I'll be honest with you. I'm more of a physical media guy. I prefer having the discs. We do subscribe to some streaming services, but, you know, more or less I love to have the discs. Okay, so that's why I don't do too much streaming services. I have the discs. So I haven't seen this series. Never saw it. I had heard of it, but I never saw it. So I decided when this came out, I was like, well, let's take a look at it. So I have watched the pilot movie and a couple of the additional episodes as they went along. And down the line. I'm not jumping around. You're going to watch them in line. But anyway, I've watched the pilot movie, which is about 1 hour and 11 minutes, and then a couple of the episodes that followed. And it's interesting. it's an interesting series. It's kind of engaging. You kind of get lost in the story of Alfred Pennyworth and his love of his life, apparently, and you know, how she gets kidnapped and all kinds of stuff, and it's kind of interesting. It really pulls you in. But I will say this: if you are looking for a series like Dark Knight, or the Batman movie series, or the animated series, or the campy, don't look for campy. You're not getting campy. Not in this one. But really, when you get right down to it, when you think about it, Pennyworth is not even family friendly. Not even close. Pennyworth is really an adult series. Pennyworth has sexual content, nudity. It has pretty rough language. It is not for the kids at all. And the violence, wow. There's a lot of rough violence in this thing. And I've only watched, 3 episodes. The pilot movie and 2 other episodes. And the stuff is pretty rough sometimes. A lot of gore. So yeah, it's something you have to think about if you want to watch this. But I will tell you that it's interesting. It's an interesting little series so far. I'm looking forward to check out the entire series, see how it plays out. But yeah, it is not for the entire family. You do not need to put your kids down in front of this one. Not at all. It's not for the family. Absolutely not. It make a good one for the adults, but yeah, it's not for the kids. Not even close. So that's something I kind of wish they would have done. I wouldn't have minded a PG or a 14 version of Pennyworth. Then I could have sat down with the family and just said, "Hey, let's watch." But hide your eyes, a little bit at the rough scenes. But yeah, this you can't do that with this. Not at all. It is just way too intense, and there's a lot of stuff in it. So yeah, it's strictly for adults. Okay, so just realize that. But it is a pretty interesting little series so far as I can see. Looking forward to see how the story of Pennyworth plays out. Once I get through this, I'm going to give you a full written review at Classic Cinema Plus. So, yeah, you can check that out coming up in a little bit. So, yeah, be sure to keep your eyes open to Classic Cinema Plus. We have tons of reviews going up every single day. There's new reviews every day. So by the end of the week, you're getting at least 5 reviews, if not more. Because we got tons coming in here at Classic Cinema Plus Studio, so we got to get through them. But we at least put up 5 reviews every single week. So go check them out. And so give us your thoughts on Pennyworth. What do you think of Alfred Pennyworth? What do you think of this new series? Are you excited about it? Or do you prefer the old versions of Alfred Pennyworth, like me, like the animated series? What's your favorite version of Alfred Pennyworth? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. As always, as we said, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And go to Classic Cinema Plus. And until we see you next time with another Flashback Friday, Silver Screen Spotlight, or something else, this is Jason Lockard reminding you that if you want to see a great film or a TV series, check out a classic. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.